Howdy y'all, Dale here
And Chuck?
from Old Southern Kitchen and Garden, and we're back today doing another canning video. So, I'm going to show you what we're canning, get it all set up, and we'll be right back. But today, we are going to be canning cherry tomatoes. Crazy, huh? We'll see you back in a minute. Welcome back, y'all.
Hi, guys.
So, we have so many cherry tomatoes. We have been eating them in salads. I mean, the tomatoes and cucumber salads, every way you can think of.
Giving them away.
Yes, giving plenty away. And we still have all of this, plus what's growing out there. So, this morning I was like, let me Google and see what I can do with cherry tomatoes. And I found several recipes for canning cherry tomatoes whole. Now, there are different ways. There is, what was it called? Hot pack, which is where you cook the cherry tomatoes first, but then you're basically canning just tomatoes that are mushed up. And then this is called what? Not hot pack.
Fresh pack.
Fresh pack, something like that. I'll put it down somewhere. But it's really simple. Supposedly, all you do is wash and clean your tomatoes, which I have done, and you just pop them in a jar. You can use any color you want, so we're doing red ones, green ones, yellow ones, and then you're going to add flavorings of your choice. And you're going to add, I believe, what is it, Chuck? Some lemon juice.
2 tablespoons of lemon juice per each jar to get the acidity up to make it a true pack, a true seal.
These are going to be like water bathed, right?
They're going to be water baths, so you want the acidity to be up. And the lemon juice will give you the acidity that you need. It'll also give a freshness to the actual tomatoes.
And I love the different colors that are going to be, in our jars.
Because all we're going to be packing this with is fresh water that we have boiling on the stove here. It's hot and ready to go. And to it, we've added a little bit of canning salt. And we've added some whole peppercorns, a little basil. Our fresh basil outside is all bolting, which is really good for the pollinators. So we put some dried basil in it also, just to give it a little more flavor.
Swap with me, please. No, the jars. So we're not pouring across each other.
And I mean, it's really this simple. You do want it packed pretty well.
So I'm going to, since you can flavor these with of your choice, we're adding some peppers, some purple onions. We are going to add some basil. And what else did we say we were going to add to all these, Chuck?
Garlic, peppers, purple onions, and basil.
Okay. So.
And we could add some red pepper flakes to some.
We could, I'm always fine with red pepper flakes.
And you want to be really gentle when you're packing these because it is fresh cherry tomatoes. You don't want them busting.
Yes, and that's why you may see the little bugs because we had the door open today because it was actually kind of cool for Louisiana. So that, of course, meant the bugs came in, and now they're flying all around this cut-up onions and peppers and these tomatoes and the garlic. They're wanting dinner, too. So,
that green one in there.
We're going to start packing all these up since we've kind of showed you how we're doing it, and then we'll come back once we get all these jars done. So, see you in a bit.
See you in a minute.
Okay, y'all, we're back. And as you can see, hopefully here, if the camera's pointed right, we've filled up, a dozen of these little jars, and about 4 or 5 of these big jars. We ended up putting basil in some jars, onions, a purple onion in all jars, some peppers in all jars, basil in all jars, and
fresh garlic.
Crushed garlic in all jars, and Chuck snuck in a few jalapenos from the garden in some of the jars.
Yeah, we picked them this morning, so why not use them? We have a
Yep.
lot more coming.
So we're now going to pour the brine over it. Which, remind them again what was in our brine, Chuck?
It is mixed peppercorns, a little bit of canning pickling salt, some mustard seed, and fresh water.
Cool.
So it's just going to add some flavor to the tomatoes. Whenever you're doing it, you basically just want a flavor that'll go with the tomatoes.
Yes.
So we're not going overly pickle on them because they will be eaten as cherry tomatoes. Now this recipe, it doesn't say that they'll be exactly like you pick them from the garden because they are going to be processed. So it says it's really good for making sauces, adding in pastas, making bruschetta, which all sound really good to me.
But some of the ones I looked at did say they just popped them out the jar and ate them as like snacks. Some of them ate them with meals as like a side or a appetizer with meals. So we have not tried this yet. So, you know, us and our harvest and taste, whenever we do bust open one of these, we will be sure to let you know what.
We'll be doing a pop it and taste.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of popping, if you hear any popping, right before this, we did a video for, what do you call it? Yeah, show them. All the,
pickled lemon cucumbers.
yes, all the lemon cucumbers from the garden. We had so many that we had to, like,
Find things to do with.
Yes. So this morning I was on Google and I found that people also pickle and can the lemon cucumbers. So we took the basis of their recipe and kind of changed it up to some stuff to suit us in the way we wanted it. And they're over there just popping and going crazy. So we have spent we both were off today, and we've spent the day prepping to film for the canning, so, you know.
Picking in the garden so that we have the vegetables to can.
Yes, because a lot of this stuff is literally straight from the garden. We picked it this morning to do these videos.
Now, what you're going to want to do before you actually can these is get the air bubbles out. That way you'll get a true can. And since these are cherry tomatoes, I don't want to stick. We usually use a knife to go through. But since there's so much space in there, we won't have to do that. You can simply just tap the jars. And you can see just by tapping, the water level goes down, which means you got air bubbles out. So after we do this to every jar, we're going to come back in and refill.
So let us finish this up and tap these down, and we'll be right back with you.
Okay, guys, welcome back. As you can see, we've sealed the jars, so they're ready to go. Now, what you do when you seal it, we wipe the edges of the jar with a little bit of vinegar. What it's going to do is take everything off the jar to make sure that it hits the rubber and you get a really good seal. And what you're going to do is take the lid and put it on. Turn this, and whenever it starts to give a little bit, just grab it with just your fingers and give it a quarter turn. That way it's sealed but not totally sealed. And when we're done with that, then we're going to get them into the water canner. We have water that's extremely boiling right now. You're going to take each one and put it in.
So we're going to be doing this in like at least 2 batches.
And with fresh tomatoes, you need to process it. They're already starting to pop. Process it for 50 minutes. So basically you want 1 to 2 inches of water above the jar. You put the lid on. When it comes back to a rolling boil, you set the timer. And 50 minutes later, they'll be ready to come out. I think it fit one more in here. There we go. Put the lid on that one. So we'll get these finished loading up and let them process. And when you come back, we will have the finished product.
Yep. See you in a bit. Okay, y'all, we're back.
Okay. Tomatoes have been water bathing for, I'm holding it backwards, 50 minutes now. After the 50 minutes, you turn off the heat, remove the lid, and let it sit for 5 minutes. And now
So tell them that again, facing the camera so they can hear you in case.
So yeah, we water bathed it for 50 minutes. After the 50 minutes is done, you turn the water off, take the lid off, and let it sit in the hot water for 5 minutes. Then they're ready to come out. So now all we have to do is get them all out. Pretty.
Here, you talk to them. I'll get it out.
Get them all out. You want to put it on a towel while it is cooling off and let it sit for at least 24 hours before you check the seal, and then you're able to put it on your shelf basically for up to a year. They should be good and perfectly sealed. So we'll continue to get the rest of these out.
And once we go to taste these, and we'll do a harvest and taste and let you know what they taste like. And if you've ever canned cherry tomatoes or any kind of whole tomatoes, let us know down in the comment section what to expect. And we'll talk at you on the next video.
Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Bye, y'all.